A lot of people ask whether George Lucas was interested in the games we did. One experience I had where he actually came in for a demo was when we were in beta for our first two games, Rescue on Fractalist and Ballblazer. And he actually spent like 20 minutes with each of us. And out of that experience, you know, the games, at least my game, Rescue, shifted a lot. He had two great ideas. One was countering my pacifistic nature by telling me I should put a fire button into the game. Originally I didn't have one. The other was by having the pilots who run up to who you rescue, every once in a while have an alien that pops up. And that totally changed the game, because then from then on, as soon as you experience the alien the first time, after having played the game for several hours without any aliens, it just totally freaks you out, and you're tense every time a pilot comes up because you aren't sure what it's going to be. Back in the early 80s, Star Wars games were licensed for the arcades by Atari, so we would get an Atari game of whatever they finished. And one of the first ones we got, of course, was the original Star Wars game, which had several sequences where you're approaching the Death Star and doing battle in the trenches, and it was a great game. And Peter Langston had a manual that he got along with the cabinet, and found that there was a switch that you could change, which threw it into a single step mode, which we found out was a marketing mode, which lets you freeze the action. You can still move the crosshairs around and then fire and shoot. And when you fired, it would actually, move to the next frame. And you could destroy all the TIE fighters on the screen without, having a whole lot of skill needed. So Peter liked that mode a lot. He took a couple wires from that switch, brought it through the cabinet into the part where you sit down, and added a little button there. So every time you push the button, it toggled that mode on and off. And whenever we play the game, we push the button to do it, and he labeled the button the Force, so that whenever we needed help, we used the Force and slowed down everything, so our reflexes seemed like they were like magically enhanced, and we could shoot everything off the screen. We kind of forgot about that because I guess a year or two later, Steven Spielberg was shooting Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He was doing a sequence on the soundstage near us, and I guess there was a lot of downtime, and he asked if we could move an arcade game over there, like the Star Wars game. So we moved it over. He played it, he loved it, and that was the last we heard of it until we found out that after the filming was completed, Steven went back to his offices and called up Atari and asked if they could send one of the units over to his offices down in Los Angeles. And they did, and soon after it arrived, they got an angry phone call from him saying, "Hey, where's the Force button?" And Atari people said, "What are you talking about? There's no Force button." I said, "Yeah, there's a Force button. You push it, and it kind of turns on the Force and makes it easier to play the game. And I want the Force button." So it didn't happen.